Hey everyone, it's Jeff Moss here, and welcome back to the I Knew a Guy segment from our All the Right Moves radio show, where we dive into the wild, weird, and sometimes wild, weird stories from real estate, lending, and life in the Inland Empire. If you're new, I'm a real estate agent and mortgage broker, but I also love sharing the real, unfiltered stories, the ones that don't make it into the listing description or the loan file. Today's episode, there's two stories. One about a guy who sold his home without an agent and lost money, and the other, he didn't think an inspection was worth the money. So grab a drink, settle in, and let's get into it.
While we can all learn from other people's mistakes, we would never use someone's real name or personal information on this show.
Basically, the reason for the segments is to show you how you should give us a call before you make all the wrong moves. For example, I knew a guy.
I made a wrong move?
Actually, this one did make a wrong move. First of all, I think he started with the wrong move because he disagreed with his wife. Let's just start there, okay? She said, look, we're going to sell our house. Let's use a realtor. I know Jeff Moore. But he wanted a for sale by owner, which, hey, you know what? It's America. Do whatever you want. You know,
that's right.
It's a free country. But he said, all right, he's going to do the for sale by owner thing, but he'll give up to 1% to whoever brings a buyer. And so that's what he wanted to do. Fine. Well, the buyer, was one of my family members. So I disclosed that up front. We did the thing. And now when I'm doing this transaction on my side for my client, this for sale by owner is saying, wait, why are there so many forms? Why do you have to have so many disclosures? What's all this paperwork for? And I'm like, well, dude, you're for sale by owner. Don't you have a disclosure package that you want to?
And the answer was no.
Yeah, the answer was a big, really? Now I know there's all this paperwork here, but is that all necessary? Yeah. Okay. And then he asked me, hey, by the way, I've got some things like the grant deed and stuff. Can you notarize this for me and save me $10? Well, my answer was no. No, my responsibility is to my client. So he's all, okay. And when I'm in the house and I'm talking to him, he says, I know the toilet leaks, but, the heater is also on well, he's just talking out loud. And I'm like, okay, when you signed my disclosures, you said, no, there were no leaks. You said, no, the air conditioner is in good working condition. You said the heater furnace is in good working condition. He said, well, yeah, but that's up to the buyer to find out that stuff. I'm like, if you know something's wrong, materially wrong with the property, you have to disclose that. And you signed saying that everything is fine. He said, well, as far as I know, that's as far as I know.
And that's a good rule ethically and legally.
You mean just being human?
Yes.
Just being a decent person?
I try to hide everything from people.
And he's all, well, it's not his responsibility to disclose that. Besides, he says, plus they're getting a home warranty, so they'll get a brand new air conditioner as soon as they turn it on. He knows this sucker's going to go out, right?
Yeah, and a home warranty only covers from the time that the escrow closed. It doesn't cover any pre-existing conditions. So if the air conditioning didn't work at close of escrow, the insurance company may deny that claim.
Oops. So I stood there in his living room and told him, you don't want to tell this to the buyer, but you realize I am the agent for the buyer. So you have just informed the buyer. I'm going to tell them. I'm going to put it in the file.
Legally obligated.
I have to.
And ethically, too.
Just because I'm a human. And so he's like, you know what? I think we're done here. And so he wanted me to leave because he's just trying to be buddy-buddy with me.
You're too honest with me. You want to comply with all those laws and rules. And
it wasn't a gray area. It was black and white. Anyways, after closing, he says, hey, now that we've closed, I want you to sell my other rental house I have in this other place, right? But I'll give you 3% to split with whoever and just go ahead and do it because I see how you did. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to do business with you. I actually said that to this guy on the phone. He said, you what? You're turning down a commission? I said, no, I know how you deal with things and I don't go there. He wanted me to. Now, do you think he's going to go ahead and let me pick this house apart and say, by the way, you have 3-inch termites crawling through the bedroom and bed bugs in the attic.
But don't tell anybody.
But don't tell it. Yeah.
Well, he probably figured he finally told you the truth about what was wrong.
Because since you discovered it, I'll admit it. That's not telling the truth. And so I actually told him, you know what? No, thank you. I appreciate it. We're done doing business. Thank you for the transaction. He started cussing me out on the phone.
Well, at least you weren't in person.
He says, you don't know anything about your business. I'm thinking, well, then why do you want to hire me, right? He says, because the house that you just got for your family member, I was going to say which family, your family member, you've got almost $25,000 equity in that property. And I'm like, no, you're not accurate.
He was bad at math.
So he's cussing at me some more, and I said, okay, goodbye. And I hung up my phone, didn't slam it. And honestly, right in front of me on the desk, I had the file open, the appraisal open. My client had $125,000 of equity on the current appraisal.
That's a pretty good deal.
That's a doggone good deal. What are you kidding me? So, folks,
They should have paid you a commission.
I know.
If they're listening, they should have paid you a commission.
Hey, could you guys go back? But folks, listen, for sale by owner is not the unpardonable sin. It's okay. I mean, I've changed the brakes and changed the oil in my car before. But when it comes to the serious stuff, I hire a mechanic. Hire a professional that knows to keep you out of, oh, well, gee, Your Honor, I didn't know that was necessary. Ignorance is not an excuse for the law, especially in real estate. And especially when you're look, folks, a professional, a realtor can guide you through doing this right and do everything ethically, morally, and humanly. And plus, who knows, I might be able to save you the $100,000 he left on the table.
Yeah, he didn't want to pay an extra 5%, but he left $100,000 on the table.
That was oops.
Yep, that happens all the time. Well, I knew a guy that is somewhat similar to that, but what?
My mom once knew a guy.
Somebody else wants to get in on this.
That's what
it's
it
Dan
is.
in the sound room there. Sorry, Dan, I'm going to go first. But I knew a guy who decided to buy a house and not get a home inspection. And all through the process, we tell people that they should get a home inspection. They sign a form with their loan. You should get a home inspection. They sign a form at the beginning with us. Hey, you should get a home inspection. And it's still their option. I mean, they can do it at their discretion, but we highly recommend that they get a home inspection. And I knew a guy decided that he was going to save the $250 that it cost to get a home inspection and not check anything out. I tried talking him out of it, and at some point you just let people make their own decisions, even if they're bad decisions.
Was this the buyer or the seller?
This was a buyer.
Right, okay.
And so he said, it's fine, I checked it out myself. Well, as soon as he closed, he started calling me, oh, this doesn't work, and all of these things. And I said, well, it's too late now to do anything about it because you said everything was fine and acceptable to you, and in reality it wasn't. And remember when I told you to get that home inspection? He said, yeah, that's why. And he had gone through and looked at things, claimed to be an expert, kind of a contractor type person, and I figured at least he knows what to look for.
Right.
He didn't know enough. So even if you are a contractor, it's good to get an outside third-party person that's going to spend up to 3 hours going through the house, checking the toilets, checking pretty much everything there. So it didn't work out good for him. We try to have these I Knew guys with a happy ending.
With a happy ending, yeah.
And in the end, it was after we closed, and I really couldn't help him. I pointed him in a direction of who could fix the things. But in the end, that's not really how it worked.
And that's this week's Double I Knew a Guy story. If you've got a wild real estate mortgage or I Knew a Guy story of your own, I want to hear it. Hit me up in the comments, and I might even feature it on a future episode. And if you like this one, please hit subscribe so you don't miss the next story. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit like and let me know what kind of stories you want to hear next. More horror stories, more funny ones, or more how did that even happen moments. Until next time, I'm Jeff Moss, helping you live, invest, and eat well in the Inland Empire. We'll see you next time.